How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship.
Yeah.
Drake is once again trolling Lucian Grainge, the CEO of UMG, by posting his daughter-in-law. He also unfollowed everybody on his burner and now only follows her. Messing with the labels like this is a very risky move.
This has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, you know, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
I talked to a UMG executive earlier today, and you know, he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know this to be the case, but it seemed like he trying to get out his deal. This is like a strategic play to get out his.
So, Pusha T just jumped into the conversation surrounding Kendrick Lamar's anti-Drake Super Bowl performance, and it seems like he's dropping clues that Drake's downfall has been in the works for a minute. Kendrick shattered records with his halftime show, pulling in over 130 million views, making it the most watched performance in Super Bowl history. While most people were celebrating Kendrick's achievement, Pusha T popped up with a cryptic message that fans are convinced was aimed directly at Drake. Meanwhile, Drake seems to be spiraling even further. His beef with UMG CEO Lucian Grainge just hit a new level after Drake targeted Lucian's daughter-in-law, Sophia Richie. What's wild is that Drake spent years bragging about his exclusive UMG contract, flaunting his connection to Lucian like he was untouchable. But now, it's all backfiring. Fans are saying he played himself by signing a deal with someone he thought had his back, only to realize he might have made a deal with the devil. Instead of playing it smart, Drake seems to be hitting the self-destruct button. I mean, suing the label that gave you $400 million is definitely a choice. And going after Lucian's family, that's next level risky. People are seriously wondering if Drake has a career death wish because none of his recent moves make sense. Now, with Pusha T hinting that Drake's fall from grace might have been planned from the start, it raises a bigger question. Was Drake destined to lose this battle? And why is he making moves that seem to be permanently damaging his reputation? Let's break it down.
You don't stand for nothing. You don't say nothing about nothing. You don't. And you run to the Memphis. Oh, I'm Memphis, Houston. That's my black side. You never relate.
Pusha T has finally spoken out about Kendrick Lamar's record-breaking Super Bowl halftime show, and fans are convinced he was throwing some not-so-subtle shade at Drake. Taking to his Instagram stories, Pusha acknowledged Kendrick's historic moment, but it wasn't just a casual shout-out. His choice of words had everyone reading between the lines. Pusha wrote, "Mission accomplished. Congrats." That simple statement was enough to send the internet into a frenzy, with many believing he was hinting at Drake's ongoing downfall. Pusha also recently praised Kendrick's performance while chatting with paparazzi, and you could tell he was genuinely proud of Kendrick's major accomplishment.
Super Bowl halftime. How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship.
Yeah.
The creativity. You know, real artist. For real.
Yes, sir.
And he did it his way.
Okay.
Gotta respect.
Let's circle back to that mission accomplished comment from Pusha T, because fans are dissecting it and saying he knew exactly what he was doing. Many believe Pusha was hinting that Kendrick successfully sealed Drake's fate, something Pusha himself played a major role in. Let's not forget that back in 2018, Pusha shattered Drake's untouchable image with the story of Adidon, exposing Drake's secret son and baby mama to the world. That moment alone shifted how people viewed Drake. Now, with Kendrick's back-to-back takedowns and Drake seemingly spiraling into self-destruction, fans are speculating that this was all part of a larger plan to end Drake's golden boy status once and for all. Speaking of spiraling, Drake's recent behavior has been raising eyebrows. After Kendrick's Super Bowl performance smashed records, Drake has been flooding his Instagram stories. Part of it is promotion for his collab album with Party Next Door, but it feels like there's more going on. Instead of focusing on the music, Drake is escalating his feud with UMG, making increasingly reckless moves that could land him in even hotter water. Remember, just last month, Drake filed a federal defamation lawsuit against UMG, accusing them of conspiring with streaming platforms to inflate the success of Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us. Drake claims the label deliberately boosted the song's numbers and let it go viral despite its accusations against him. Running to the courts over a rap beef was already seen as a questionable move, but Drake has taken it a step further, and now it's personal. In true Drake fashion, instead of directly confronting Kendrick or UMG CEO Lucian Grainge, he's targeting the women connected to them. This time, he's set his sights on Sophia Richie Grainge, Lucian's daughter-in-law. On February 11th, Drake posted a photo of Sophia wearing an OVO shirt on his alternate Instagram account, and she's now the only person he follows from that page. But this move is already backfiring. Fans are calling Drake out for lacking self-awareness and dragging a woman with nothing to do with the drama into the beef. And what makes this worse? It's not the first time Drake has taken cheap shots at women tied to the men he's beefing with. During his feud with Meek Mill, he threw jabs at Nicki Minaj. With Pusha T, he dragged Pusha's fiancée Virginia Williams into it. Against Kendrick, he kept aiming at Whitney Alvord. When Eminem criticized him, Drake responded by following Eminem's daughter Haley right after she turned 18. And now, he's going after Sophia Richie Grainge, a 12 years younger married woman with an 8-month-old baby. With all the allegations swirling around Drake regarding young women, you'd think he'd steer clear of dragging women and children into his beef, but it's like he just can't help himself. Despite his fans claiming he's unbothered, it's becoming crystal clear that Drake is spiraling, and if things keep going this way, it's only going to get worse. One fan said, "Mind you, Drake has to be aware of how destructive his fans have been lately. So to post Sophia, who's minding her married business with her little baby girl, knowing your deranged fans will flood her comments and socials on your behalf, is actually nasty as F. He's a B." And someone else wrote, posting Sophia Richie, who is not only married to Lucian Grainge's son, but is the daughter of Lionel Richie. Sure, Drake's fans have no clue who he is. LOL. When you mess with powerful men's families, don't cry when they pull a plot twist on you. Let's dive into the real reason behind Drake's apparent meltdown, his fallout with Lucian Grainge. Word is, Drake believes Lucian plotted against him, but let's be honest, that theory doesn't add up. Drake was Universal Music Group's biggest cash cow for years, so why would Lucian sabotage his top earner? Meanwhile, Drake's fans are bending over backward to spin this lawsuit as some kind of revolutionary stand against the music industry. They're claiming Drake is fighting UMG to help independent artists break free from the grip of evil record labels. But let's not rewrite history. Drake had no problem being Lucian's golden boy when it worked in his favor. In fact, Drake loved flaunting his special treatment. He constantly bragged about how his deal was different from everyone else's. And let's not forget how many times he name-dropped Lucian in his songs, acting like he was untouchable because of their close relationship.
Shit done changed. Billionaires talk to me different when they see my pay stuff from Lucian Grainge. Who the CEO of Universal? They're mistaken. Cause Google's saying Lucian, but that just doesn't make sense. Who got Lucian? I said, it, I'm tearing holes in my budget. All I know is that God got me. I'm sitting on large properties. Treat me like a newborn. Lucian not dropping.
What's wild is that before this whole mess with Kendrick, Drake wasn't just another UMG artist. He was Lucian's golden boy. Back in 2021, Drake secured one of the biggest deals in music history, rumored to be worth $450 million. Lucian himself made it clear that Drake could have whatever he wanted.
On Stay Schemin', Drake says, "Tell Lucian I said I'm tearing holes in my budget."
Tell Lucian I said I'm tearing holes in my budget.
Did Drake call you up after that and say, "Hey, I need more money for my project"?
If ever Drake or whenever Drake calls up and says he needs more money for his project, I give it to him.
Now, there are a few theories floating around about what caused this huge fallout between Drake and Lucian. Some people believe Drake may have gotten a little too comfortable as UMG's top earner and decided to push his luck. According to some sources, Drake tried to renegotiate his deal and demanded a staggering $600 million from Lucian. But the problem is, Drake seemed to forget who's really in charge. No matter how successful he became, Lucian's the boss. And at the end of the day, Drake is still just an employee.
I'm here. So Drake, supposedly in this $400 million deal, he had one more deliverable, which is the Party Next Door album. Now, prior to the beef in May, there was going to be a last project that would then catapult Drake into his next deal. It's like basketball. These guys are like restricted free agents, right? You don't let them become a free agent before you negotiate and lock them into another deal. What happens is when you're at your last project, y'all start talking. It's like contract year. Think about NBA. All right, you playing basketball. Sometimes they be like, yo, I'm too injured to play. When it's contract year, you suck up that injury, you got to play because you want that bigger contract next. Here's the interesting thing. Before Drake could drop that and then potentially be a free agent, he's been negotiating. He's been thinking, I'm going to go get a bigger payday, maybe $600 million. The beef happens, and from what I've been, told, the conversations have severely not gone in Drake's favor. The re-upping or whatever, it's just not what Drake would think.
But there's another theory making the rounds, and some fans believe this fallout might be connected to Diddy's legal troubles. Last year, Lucian's name popped up in one of the lawsuits filed against Diddy. Remember that lawsuit from producer Lil Rod? It wasn't just targeting Diddy. There were some serious allegations directed at Lucian and UMG as well. Lil Rod hinted that Lucian and Diddy's connection could go beyond just business. Even more shocking, he alleged that Diddy might have tapes of Lucian engaging in questionable activities at those infamous freak-off parties. But here's where things get shady. By May 2024, just a few months after the lawsuit was filed, news broke that Lucian and UMG were suddenly dropped from the list of defendants.
Grainge and Universal Music Group are now dropped from the Diddy lawsuit. Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from the lawsuit with prejudice after the attorneys for Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge said that the accusations were so offensively false that they plan to seek legal penalties directly against the lawyer Tyrone Blackburn and not even the accuser. And I feel like the only reason that Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from this lawsuit is because he knows how good of attorneys these actually are, and they're backed by Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge, so there's some big money behind them.
And guess what else happened in May 2024? Kendrick dropped 3 diss tracks aimed not just at Drake, but at the entire industry. 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. So just as Lucian and UMG thought they had dodged the heat from Lil Rod's lawsuit, the feud between Kendrick and Drake really started to intensify. And Kendrick wasn't just targeting Drake. Remember on Meet the Grams, Kendrick went in, "I've been in this industry 12 years. I'm gonna tell y'all one little secret. It's some weird shit going on, and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender, then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas." So, Kendrick is basically suggesting that Drake isn't the only problem. It's the people backing him. He's hinting that powerful figures in the music industry might be involved in something shady, with artists like Drake serving as pawns while someone bigger pulls the strings. And you already know UMG was paying close attention to all of this. The last thing Lucian needed was more negative headlines, connecting him to disturbing allegations in the industry, especially after getting his name cleared from Lil Rod's lawsuit. But here's where things get even wilder. Some people are now speculating that Diddy's whole setup with those underground parties and secret recordings was actually part of a blackmail scheme orchestrated by higher-ups with political agendas behind the scenes.
A multitude of lawsuits against him are not only shockingly detailed, but allude to connections to powerful entertainment industry figures with ties to Zionist causes. One of the key lawsuits was filed by music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. He accuses Diddy of participation in an Epstein-style ring and threats of physical violence. Jones alleges that Diddy hosted substance-fueled parties which youth, funded by powerful figures like Universal Music Group CEO Lucian Grainge. Jones claims these parties were secretly recorded to blackmail high-profile individuals, including music executives and politicians. Lucian Grainge is a billionaire Zionist known for supporting Israeli causes. He's been associated with high-profile events, including the Friends of the IDF Gala, which raises funds for the Israeli military. Grainge's wife, Caroline Grainge, also funds several Zionist organizations. Running in the same circles is Haim Saban, an Israeli-American media media proprietor, Democratic Party power player, and mega donor to Zionist causes. Saban Music Group and Universal Music Group have a partnership that includes global distribution and marketing. Another former Universal Music Group figure moonlighting as a Zionist lobbyist is David Renzer. Renzer founded an organization called Creative Community for Peace, which organizes Hollywood celebrities to speak out on behalf of Israel and against the aims of Palestinian activists. Another music industry executive closely associated with P. Diddy, Clive Davis, has partnered with Creative Community for Peace. In 1994, provided funding for the then 23-year-old Diddy's Bad Boy Records. Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge have since been dropped from Rodney Jones's lawsuit against Diddy. They were dismissed from the lawsuit after attorneys for UMG argued that the accusations against the company were offensively false and that they would seek legal penalties against Jones's lawyer Tyrone Blackburn. On October 8, 2023, Diddy posted on social media in support of Israel. That same month, he reportedly signed the No Hostage Left Behind letter thanking President Biden for his quote-unquote leadership regarding Gaza.
So, after Lucian managed to dodge the Diddy controversy, the last thing he wanted was for the Drake versus Kendrick beef to resurface all those allegations. That's why some people believe Lucian told Drake to keep quiet after Not Like Us dropped. But Drake, feeling disrespected and humiliated, chose to defy his boss and bite the hand that feeds him. Despite UMG and Lucian making him feel untouchable for years, Drake couldn't let it slide. Knowing he couldn't out-rap Kendrick, he took a drastic step, suing his own label for defamation, claiming UMG allowed Kendrick to profit from false accusations in Not Like Us. But now, people are saying Drake is gambling big with this lawsuit. UMG is the world's biggest label, and taking them on is a fast track to career trouble. History proves no artist is bigger than the system. So is Drake spiraling, or is there more to this story? And what about that Sophia Gray post? Just a distraction, or is something deeper going on? Do you think Drake can bounce back to his former glory? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't miss this next video. You won't believe what's coming next.